Welcome or welcome back to the CNC Advantage. I am Christy and Cooper went bye-bye, so sorry you missed him on this one, but he couldn't resist a ride in the truck, so it is what it is. But today we're going to do a reading for Gemini for the month of July, and we're going to be doing the Celtic Cross for you guys today. So let's just jump right in, shall we? Your current situation has to do with the Knight of Swords in reverse. So what I'm getting from this is that you may be trying to run from the truth. You do see it, but you don't like it. You've got your bow and arrow out and you're just trying to run away from it. So whatever you're trying to run from, it's just gonna follow you, right? So you're trying to take action and you think that you can just keep on running and running and running, but it's just the second you turn around, it's going to be right there, right behind you, right? What you're going to find challenging about this truth is that it's going to take strength and vulnerability, attaching to your own vulnerabilities to address it. And then you also have the Page of Cups in reverse that came out with the Strength card as far as your challenge cards. So it's a message that affects your emotions, your heart. It touches you very deeply. And you feel a bit like a monster when you look at this truth. I'm not sure why that's coming through. You'd rather stay in the clouds where pigs fly and all that jazz. You want to stay in the illusions that you've painted, so that way it makes it easier to cope. So, I mean, you're just not really willing to even put in the work at this point to take this head on. Because when Spirit puts obstacles in our way, it's like a mountain. You can either go over it, you can go around it, but the mountain, no matter what, you can run the opposite direction, but the mountain's still going to be there. So when you come back around, it's still going to be right where the Spirit left it. So one way or another, you're eventually gonna have to address this issue of the truth, right? What you need to focus on, you got two cards for this as well. You got the Lovers in reverse and you got the Six of Swords upright. So possibly this has something to do with a karmic soulmate. So maybe you've been in a relationship for some time and the connection started off great like they usually do, kind of like the honeymoon phase. Well, that is worn off now and you're starting to see this person in their entirety is what I'm hearing, right? And it is not quite what you had thought. You thought that they were going to take you from these rough waters to the calm waters, and that didn't exactly happen, right? You saw them as a true soulmate, possibly a twin flame at some point. But now you're saying that the whole thing was karmic. And maybe it's better off to take this karmic situation and just leave. Find your calmer waters by yourself. I hear that you have everything you need. Just pack your one bag and go. You only take what you can carry, kind of thing. Make the best of it. Take only what you absolutely need. When you do that, you learn what things you absolutely need in your life and what were really wants all along. So It's hard. Believe me, it is hard, When I first packed up my car when I was going to live on my own, I had it filled to the fucking hilt. And over time, I thinned shit out, donated this and that, gave to other people. It was much, much easier to only live with what I needed instead of everything I wanted. So you may find that you need to lighten your load a little bit, get rid of some of your stuff, and always know that you can rebuild. You can always get those kind of things back. So if it's your photo albums and stuff like that, scan them in with your phone, do whatever you can to save the things that matter most to you. But sometimes you just can't take everything, okay? Your past, the energy that you're coming out of is the Eight of Swords. So they're saying that you kind of made your own self-made prison, whether it was through pre-programming of what other people told you, or maybe how you were raised, or just your overall behavioral patterns and stuff like that. So when things don't go right, you revert back to a negative behavior of some sort, whether it's drinking, overthinking, doing drugs, sex, and it ties you up in knots, and you feel like you're trapped. Now, and when you've been sitting here the entire time, you're not trapped at all. You're just stuck in your own poisonous, toxic thoughts. Okay? So you're trying to come out of that. In order to come out of that, you need to rely on your strengths. Now, you got a whole bunch of cards here that came out upside down. So we're going to figure out what these are together. But they did come out on the fence. So we're going to read them on the fence. You have the Eight of Wands. You have the Three of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. And the Queen of Wands. Your strengths are, you're good at moving quickly. You're good at making snappy, quick decisions. You're good at working with others and stuff like that, as far as maybe starting a new adventure. Maybe possibly having someone, like a team of people help you work through this. That could be a support group. That could be a church group. That could be, a group of witches for all we know. I mean, it could be just a group of friends. That could be like a school board or something like that. Maybe you could work with someone like that to help take you out of this situation. Four of Pentacles is also here. So letting go of your greed is going to make it a lot easier for you to lighten your load as far as what you need and what you want. And sometimes when we don't want to let go of certain things, Spirit will rip them right out of our lives. And that way we can start to see, shit, I didn't need that, and I didn't need that, and I didn't need that. I really liked those, and I didn't really enjoy those, but they were actually wants, So the high-end cologne, the high-end clothes, the high-end car, and, all the eating out all the time, stuff like that. Those were all nice things. I'm not saying that they're not, but they're not needs. And right now, Lord is, or the Spirit is simplifying your life so that way you can have more clarity on what's really important. That way you can focus a little bit better on what really matters instead of these materialistic things. You also have the Queen of Wands. So you are creative, you're sexy, you're innovative. You can lean on these things in order to inspire others, to connect to your new Three of Pentacles in this new group. When they see how great you are, they're going to want to come and help, right? So don't use the Queen of Wands as like, I'll sleep with you as long as you give me this. That's borderline turning the Queen of Wands upside down. You catch my drift? All right. So just be wary of that. That could be why that's on the fence. It is also upside down compared to the rest of the cards. So, and you'll notice on the Queen of Wands card, I'm going to show it that way, right? That their legs are wide open. You know, almost every single Queen of Wands, you'll see it that way. That all their legs are always just wide open. So don't be a hoe about it, right? But, you know, that's a tough way of putting it, right? It's almost like babies. You ever seen babies when they see a pretty person, they just smile, you know? And human beings, when they grow up, they like nice things. They like things that look nice. They like things that make them smile. So be that one thing for them, you know, for your group, you know, and maybe you will get more assistance and more guidance from them, right? Lean on these strengths. Don't be greedy. Look for guidance from a group. Take the guidance from the group and go with the flow, because everything's going to move and roll real fast. Okay? What you have coming in your near future is the Nine of Pentacles. This is a single energy, so more than likely you're not going to end up with this karmic soulmate, right? But you're going to be just fine on your own. All of your pentacles are going to roll back in. You're going to be self-sufficient. You're going to be independent. You're going to be working on something that's going to be very successful. And you have the owl here, so you're going to start taking all this knowledge that you've been collecting and putting it into action and really making real wisdom out of it. And I hope that you take the time to share that with others, because what is wealth when you just sit on it, you know? Share it as much as you can, and then that amplifies it and brings in more, kind of thing. All right? Advice from Spirit. You have the Ten of Swords. This is going to hurt. This will not be an easy transition by any means, but it's necessary for your path. So, you know, it's kind of like that roller coaster theory again. You know, what would the highs be without the lows, the twists, the turns, and all that? It's about the adventure. It's about learning, adapting, not always knowing what's coming and all that, right? Because you're moving so fast that you don't always see everything coming. So go with the knowledge, goes with the wisdom, go with the truth of it all. Don't cover it up. Don't sugarcoat it, right? It is what it is. Learn what you gotta learn and move on. It's about the journey, not the destination. So just take a minute, stay in it, ask yourself the right questions. What can I do to better handle situations like this in the future? And start putting it into action, okay? What you need to know about your environment came out upside down, or not upside down, but, you know, unrevealed. So we're going to learn what this is together. We have the Knight of Wands. This is your environment for July. The Knight of Wands is a fast-acting card. Like I said, things are going to move real quick for you. And this is telling me you might jump from one bed to the next. I mean, just that quick, too. Ding, ding. They're going to see how great you are, how sexy, how charismatic, creative, innovative, just spiritually enlightened. They're going to be inspired by you, and it's going to be a hot, fast connection. So you're going to run right into someone else almost immediately, from what I hear. Your hopes and fears. You have the Four of Swords in reverse. So you fear that you're not really going to have time to heal and correct yourself, you know, and be ready for whatever comes next. If you don't have time to heal and this and that, and you don't take care of yourself spiritually, health wise, and all this stuff, the whole cycle could just keep repeating. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't learn from this karmic lesson, then they're just going to give it to you again over here. And on we go. All right. The good news is that for your potential outcome for July, you have the Judgment card upright. So I was a little surprised by that too. Especially after all the sexual energy here. Not a bad thing, right? I mean, you can collect a lot of energy through sexual means, and we all know that's possible. As long as you're using that energy to promote healing and good things, good vibes, raising the vibrations of you and that person. So not just using them to elevate your life, but to elevate theirs as well. Don't forget that this is a team thing. So when you have sex with other people, you're not only touching their energy, but you're touching the energy of everyone they've ever slept with. So if they've been collecting demons along the way, now you're sleeping with those demons. And that's extra energy that you're going to have to overcome. So if you've been collecting a whole bunch of demons, now they have to overcome them demons. And it's only right that you guys work together to defeat these demons, to cleanse your energies, to cleanse your auras, your light, your vibrations. Well, everything will raise once you get rid of these demons, right? So with this Judgment upright, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel elated, I'm hearing. You're going to be like, God, why did I didn't do this sooner? You know, kind of thing. So when you truly do take the time to rest and look within and heal what's light and dark within you, and and then you start making the proper corrections, everything's going to work out just fine. Okay? Judgment upright is a great thing. That's divine judgment, right? Everything should go in your favor. Once you simplify things, once you realize, that you didn't need all these other things that you've been focusing on too much, and he's going to remove those so you can focus on you. Well, that's what matters most. And then sharing that love and gift of who you are with the world. Okay? All right. Well, this was a very nice, simple read. If you like it, please just go ahead and smash that like button. If you have any comments or anything, please comment below whether this resonated or whatever you'd like. If you have any questions, I try to do everything I can to go out of my way to help anyone I can for free. All right? In the meantime, in love and light, you guys.